Hello! Today we're going to be building a bookshelf for all of my K-pop albums and merch. This only took me about a day, so it wasn't super long, but all the organizing did take a little bit, so here's my process of everything. So the bookshelf that I'm going to be building today is the Room Essentials one from Target, preferably in the white one because it fits my aesthetic. This actually took me the whole day, and I built this on Thanksgiving, which is really funny. But I specifically got this one because it has adjustable shelves. So the whole shelving was basically built up into two parts. So you basically build the bottom part and then the top part. So that's what I did. The bottom part obviously had that little ridge at the bottom, so you could know that was the bottom. So this actually didn't take me super long, but a lot of the dowels were in the wrong way and I had to match them up, so I had to take them out and re-put them back in because the wood was not lining up. Something that was very annoying was trying to push in the wood into each other because we had these little dowels you had to push in. So obviously if they weren't in all the way, then there was just like extra space. But I had to put these screws in and screw them in. And as you can see, they were very, very long. It took me a little bit to screw them in. So that's a little close-up of the dowels. I had to build the bottom part and then build the top part, and then you basically just put them on top of each other. So that was a little bit rough, so I had to take it and film it off camera. So something I forgot to film as well was putting on the backboard of this bookshelf. There was a bunch of little nails that you had to nail in, over 30 of them, so it took a little bit to put all those in, but here I am just lifting it up. It really wasn't that heavy, and we're gonna ignore my mess because I had to rearrange everything to put the bookshelf in here. So since this is an adjustable bookshelf, here I am just measuring a Taeyoung photo book that I had. It's so tall, so I had to make sure that they were going to fit and put the little dowels in it and then put the shelf in. I also wanted to talk about how heavy the bookshelf was when I was taking it from the store. I could barely lift it up out of the cart and put it into my car, and that was mostly because there were 5 wooden shelves in here, and that obviously made it way heavy, so it was a little bit difficult. So here's how I organized all the shelves. I'm so sorry the footage is a little bit blurry. My camera decided not to focus, but I am getting a new one soon, so hopefully everything will look better. These videos wouldn't be complete without showing you the before and the after. So here's the before. I had this really small bookshelf with all of my stuff on it, and it's very unorganized. And I wanted to have a shelf dedicated to each of my favorite groups, so I had to take everything down. It's just a mess. And that's why my room was also so messy, is because I had to basically move everything out of the way and then take all the albums off and everything. start with my organization. I basically put everything heavy on the bottom of my bookshelf because there was an anti-fall bracket that I didn't apply onto this bookshelf because I didn't want to do it. So instead I made the bottom part heavy so that nothing would fall over. I put all of my binders on the bottom just because they seem to be the heaviest, and I put my Prism Platinum Duo binders as well as my 3 Meow Cafe binders. And funny enough, these 3 binders are just full of TXT, so if you didn't know my ultimate group, now you do. Originally, I wanted to put this photo book and my BTS collection on the bottom shelf, but then I realized that I need to make the bottom shelf heavier, so I turned this second shelf into my BTS shelf. Blurry footage again, I'm so sorry, but at least you can see how I decided to display the little inclusions I had from the albums. Originally I had my army bomb standing up, but it kept falling over because of the straps, so I actually have it laying down instead now. I couldn't fit all of my Meow Cafe binders on the bottom, so I put this binder up here because this is full of my Enhypen collection, so I just put it on the shelf that I was going to put my Enhypen collection on. As I was arranging everything, it really made me realize how many albums I have. I originally wanted to just have one shelf for each of my groups, but Enhypen turned into 2 because I just had so much. I also had a really hard time deciding where I wanted to put everything because that Sunghoon inclusion moved so many times. I also had a really hard time deciding if I was going to put part of my TXT collection on this shelf because the albums fit the perfect size of it, but I ended up moving it to a different shelf just because it looked more aesthetically pleasing, having one group in one area and the other group in another. I also had a really hard time figuring out what I was going to do with this Romance Untold postcard because I had both the set and the individual postcard, so I moved it around quite a bit. As I have so many TXT albums, I unfortunately was only able to have one shelf saved to put all my TXT albums here, so the old bookshelf that I had turned into my excess TXT album shelf, but I'm not going to show that because it's kind of messy. So one day when it's ready, I'll show that to you guys. One thing that was definitely interesting was me underestimating everything that was going to fall, as well as the size of some of these albums. Not only are these TXT albums so huge, but I had to put them sideways because that was the only way they were going to fit here. Again, if you can't tell who my biases are, I think you can tell now. Here's the result, not blurry at all, but definitely a lot of albums, and it took a lot of time to reorganize. But I definitely moved some things around just because I didn't like the way they looked, or I wanted to fit more on the bookshelf, so a little bit kind of chaotic. So I actually did change a couple things. One thing I did change was I moved the Romance Untold album into the corner so that I could have the postcard of the group out instead of having both of them out on the same shelf. I also ended up changing the top part of this by moving my CD player to the top and then moved the picture frame to the wall. But that's my video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did like this K-pop themed video, let me know. I'll make more videos like that. Thanks!